All right, Alex, UFC goes from Abu Dhabi to north of the border, Edmonton, Canada. UFC Edmonton, 6-fight main card. Few Canadians on the card, some Mexicans, some Brazilians, some Americans.
I was about to say, that's a very strange, just other nationality point out if you had just left it at Mexico.
Some Iraqis.
There you go. You're getting, at least you cover them all.
But yeah, let's start off with the main card opener. A Canadian, Mike Malott. Mike Proper Malott.
There you go.
The 32-year-old Canadian, 10 wins, 2 losses, 3-1 in the UFC, taking on Trevin Giles. 16-6 overall, but 7-6 in the UFC.
Yep.
Alex, thoughts?
All right, so Mike Malott took his first UFC loss his last time out. He got knocked out by Neil Magny, but I rewatched the fight. He was up 2-0 going into the third. He got worn out. I know that's not like the best thing to hear, but Magny's one of those.
What is he? Anthony Richardson?
Oh,
I'm
shut
tired.
the fuck up. I mean, it got him benched. That sucks. But we're not talking about football yet. Malott, it's not even that he got winded in the sense of like.
You can't ask out if you're a quarterback.
Yeah, but we're not talking about football yet. He's doing this to me because I'm a Colts fan, by the way, guys. That's why the Anthony Richardson thing's coming up. Anyway, he was up on the cards 2-0. Magny rallied late, kind of clipped him, got him on the ground. And that was the thing. He was on the ground and then got flattened out and then stopped that way with like 30 seconds left in the fight.
One interesting thing about Malott, in 13 career fights, he's never been to the scorecards.
Yeah.
Giles, on the other hand, as we said, 7-6 in the UFC, lost his last fight to Prates,
lost 4 of his last 6.
Yeah, second round KO, 2 L's in a row, as you said, 4 out of his last 6. He's been in the UFC since 2017. Really had an up and down career in the UFC. He can knock you out. He can get knocked out. He can sub you. He can get subbed.
You want to hear something fun? Trevin Giles lost to Mike Malott in a grappling match.
I did see that.
In 2022.
I saw that. They grappled in 20. Unanimous. That's weird. Mike Malott.
To give you confidence if you're Mike Malott.
But if you're Mike Malott, it's also, you've never been to the scorecard in UFC. But they went to the scorecard in
grappling. It was
grappling.
like 8 1-minute rounds was that grappling thing. So I get not being able to lock in a sub in 59, 60 seconds. Trevin Giles is 2-4 at welterweight. I'm just not feeling the shit he's putting out recently.
I
Lately,
agree.
his only wins have been by decision, which notably he's got 6 KOs, 5 subs.
And notably, Mike Malott does not go to decision.
Yeah. So I think this one just leans all the way Mike Malott. However you say his name.
I agree with you.
Mike's going to win.
I'm going with the Canadian in Canada, Mike Malott proper.
Let's go to the next one, middleweight division. Marc-Andre Barriault.
Another Canadian, power
taking
bar.
on Dustin Stoltzfus.
Another American, Stoltzfus.
Barriault has also had an up and down UFC career. Came in 11-1 and has gone 5-7-1 since.
5-7-0-1 with a no contest in there.
Yeah, if we're adding all those, that's cool. Most recent fight was a round 1 loss to Joe Pyfer by KO.
Which,
sure,
not a bad. Pyfer knocks guys out.
Big rise, so we'll take that.
2 L's in a row for Barriault, but he's taking on a guy
kind of similar in a similar standing.
You said Barriault was up and down 5-7-0-1 in the UFC. Stoltzfus 2-5 in the UFC. He's 15-6 overall.
But he has alternated wins and losses in his last 5. So give him that credit.
He has, and his last fight was a loss, so also a first round KO, also in June. So both guys, it's like the Spider-Man meme.
Yep. I honestly am going to say that Dustin Stoltzfus wins, but because he has a stronger wrestling background than Marc-Andre Barriault, Stoltzfus has landed takedowns in all but 2 of his UFC fights, and I think Marc-Andre Barriault is going to succumb to that weakness.
I think Barriault wins. I think he's a better striker than Stoltzfus, and I think both guys have shown the ability to get knocked out.
Yeah, that's fair. They do.
And I think Barriault knocks Stoltzfus out. So give me Marc-Andre. Give me another Canadian. We're going all Canadians, baby.
All right. Cain Machado versus Brendson Ribeiro.
The gorilla versus Bigfoot.
So this is an interesting one. Cain Machado is 0-2 in the heavyweight division. So he decided he's got to move down.
And 0-2 in the UFC.
And he's got to go down to the light heavyweight division.
And they gave him another Brazilian that's 0-2.
Yep. But Machado is a southpaw striker, so that obviously gives you the opposite look look than you used to have, and if you're an orthodox fighter. Ribeiro also 0-2, but he's in his home division, and he's looking to get his first win, before he gets cut. Basically.
Machado, both guys, I think, have to win this to avoid getting cut.
They have to win it well, too.
Machado.
It's got to be a good performance, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I think if you at this point, if one of them gets a win, they're staying in. Loss, you're out. Machado's never been finished, so that's one thing to look at. As you said, 0-2, both guys 0-2. 3 straight decision fights for Machado. So he was a guy, it seemed like he had, before the UFC, he was a guy finishing people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, hasn't
like
happened.
50 pounds to fight. From I think he weighed in like 250.
Yeah, hopefully he's been
running,
hitting the pavement, getting some miles in.
Ribeiro though is a striker base, but he's got like technical ground stuff. He's got like a 3-inch reach advantage. He doesn't strike as much, but I think with whatever he can mix up, it'll be a good fight. I have Brendson Ribeiro winning.
I think this is really a toss-up fight. I'm trying to pretend like I know what's going to happen. I don't know what's about to happen in this fight. I'm just going to go with Machado. I'm going to go with Bigfoot.
My issue with going with Machado, I feel like dropping all that weight is going to be an issue.
I think he's going to be feeling good. He's going to be looking good. It's going to be a new man.
We'll see. Let's talk about big men next. Derrick Lewis versus Jhonata Diniz.
The Black Beast, 28-12. That's Derrick Lewis, by the way. 28-12, 1 no contest. 19-10 in the UFC with 15 KOs, which is a UFC record.
Monster of a man.
His last fight was a third-round TKO win over Nascimento. He's won 2 out of his last 3 after, I think he lost 4 in a row before that.
Yeah, he had 4 in his last 5.
So it seems like he's kind of getting his feet steady again. He's taking on...
of those losses, we always talk about losses aging and like who you lost to. 3 of those people were in the top 15 in the heavyweight division. So it is what it is. Those are tough losses, but they're against top opponents. He wasn't getting knocked out by complete scrubs.
Yes,
at least.
And he's taking on Diniz, the Brazilian, 33. Undefeated, 8-0, 2-0 in the UFC with one interesting thing. His last fight was the first fight he did not finish with a KO.
And that was against Carl Williams. Like, he had to go to decision against Carl Williams. He has a wrestling background, Diniz, that is, as far as, like, he can take you down. But in the heavyweight division, the UFC, it's not very likely.
And as we've seen before, jiu-jitsu and takedowns don't work that well on
huge men. On
Derrick Lewis, especially, unless you're like elite at it, because he just gets up.
Yeah, yeah.
He's one of those guys that just stands up, and it's like, oh.
And that goes so to his. They're both big men, but like he maxes out the scales, but he's gotten in better shape.
I think this is going to be a fight that's fun to watch. It's going to be 2 big guys with a lot of power, standing and banging.
I agree.
I'm going with one of my favorite fighters. I'm going with Derrick Lewis. I think he gets his 20th career UFC win, his 16th career UFC KO. I think it's really a toss-up fight, but I'm going with my heart, Black Beast.
I got to agree with you. I think the Black Beast is going to win. I think he has what it takes, and I think he's going to get that knockout. Erin Blanchfield taking on Thug Rose Namajunas. This is an interesting one. Erin Blanchfield faced her first loss in the UFC to Manon Farwell last time out.
Not a bad loss.
No, it's a decision loss.
And you're losing to a lady who's probably going to be fighting for the title next. And who
Thug
also
Rose,
beat Thug Rose.
That was exactly what I was about to say. Now, the thing with Blanchfield in that fight, she was just unable to do her normal takedown grappling style approach. Manon just stopped all the takedowns, made it a stand and bang fight, which if you're starting on a wrestler, base, it's going to limit you. Your shots are looking wide open at that point. Thug Rose, though, 2-1 in the flyweight division overall.
She's had 2 straight wins after 2 straight losses. As we mentioned, though, her last loss was against Farwell.
Right, and the one before that was in the strawweight division, I believe.
Was against Esparza for the title, the worst title fight in UFC history, possibly.
She had bounced. Rose on this point has bounced back very well. And since that performance, I have to say.
She has, but it's still, she's kind of a hit or miss fighter. It's how motivated she is for this fight.
It is
she going to be able
how
to?
Much motivation she takes to get going.
Is she going to be able to stop Blanchfield from the takedowns? Because I think that's the key to this fight. We've seen if you can stop Blanchfield's takedowns like Farwell did, as you said, and keep it a stand and bang fight. I mean, Rose will win all day if they're just both standing and boxing, I think.
Well, let's take a look. Throughout Rose's UFC career, she has a 59% takedown defense, which means if you consistently shoot, you will land them.
If you take 3 of them, you're going to get 1 of them at least.
Right. Now, Rose, though, she had 5 takedowns against Tracy Cortez, but then Amanda Hebas took her down. That was a bad fight from Hebas, though, because she was just getting pieced up on every takedown attempt.
I think it's going to be a very competitive fight.
I think Blanchfield's going to be able to land some takedowns, and I think that's going to be what helps Blanchfield win the fight. Yeah, probably a decision fight.
I think it's a very competitive fight. Battle of 2 styles, really, 2 strengths. But I agree with you. I think Blanchfield wins. I think she's going to be able to get takedowns. And I also agree that 9 times out of 10, this is going to be a decision fight.
Cool. Let's go to the main event. Brandon, the Assassin Baby Moreno, taking on Amir Albazi. Brandon Moreno comes in as the favorite. Albazi, slight underdog, sorry.
Brandon Moreno is still somehow only 30 years old.
That's crazy. He's
younger than Albazi.
That's crazy. I didn't even realize that. Despite losing back-to-back performances, Moreno remains at the top of the flyweight division.
He's 9-5 and 2 draws in the UFC. Former champ, as everybody knows. He has lost 2 in a row. But one interesting thing, both split decisions to Royval and to Pantoja, the current champ.
And this is his first new opponent since 2020 when he faced Royval for the first time.
Well, he did the Kai France fight.
He had already faced Kai France in like 2018 or something like that.
And Albazi comes in.
That was the only one prior to the Brandon Royval one.
Albazi comes in. He's 17-1 overall, 5-0 in the UFC. He won his last fight, a controversial decision, though, a split decision over Kai France.
I still think Kai France won that fight.
That was all the way back in June of 2023.
He had a neck injury, which
he did have a neck injury, but he's only fought like 2 or 3 times in the past 2 years. He's not the most active guy. But Albazi, he's a guy, the Prince, the Iraqi. If he gets a win here, I mean, he was 6-0. You can't really have a better win on your resume in this division than Brandon Moreno. I mean, he's one of the top guys.
Yeah.
So this is a fight for Albazi. He wins. Nobody really talks about him getting a title shot, but a win here, he's in the title picture.
Not to mention, Moreno's beaten Pantoja, right?
No, he's lost.
Oh, he's lost all 3 of them?
Yeah, he lost all 3.
Okay. I was going to say, if Moreno had beaten Pantoja, it's almost like, I got what it takes to fight the champ because...
He's lost all 3, but as we said, the last one was a split decision. He's very close fights.
Yeah, and that's what I like about having a fresh face in Amir Albazi facing Moreno is it's not that trilogy or the rematch again.
And it's going to be both guys very well-rounded. Both guys have good ground games. Both guys can sub you. Both guys can stand and bang.
Near identical takedown average. Moreno holds the edge on striking.
Neither guy's ever been finished.
Right. Which is crazy because Moreno's been in some fights. I haven't seen all of Amir Albazi's fights, but I know that.
I think this is going to be a great main event. It's going to be a great fight. Potential for fight of the night.
Again, though, I think it depends on how Brandon Moreno comes out. If we've seen lackluster performances by him, almost point fighting, and we've seen savage Brandon Moreno come out. I need savage Brandon Moreno to come out.
I'm leaning towards savage Brandon Moreno just because 2 straight losses, both of them split decisions, so he's probably got in his mind like, I can't leave this to the scorecard.
Right.
I can't trust these judges.
I need to fight to win.
I'm going to go with the Assassin, baby. I think Moreno bounces back. I think he shows he's still one of the top guys in this division. I think Moreno gives Albazi his first UFC loss.
I agree. I think Brandon Moreno will win.